Welcome to the program today. Mondo Gonzales here in studio, and we have Jonathan Cahn, and we're going to be talking about some amazing things as it relates to Israel. And it's kind of appropriate that we talk to him. And before we do, I want to remind everybody about an upcoming trip to Israel. We are going to Israel, May of 2026. And if that interests you, I think it'll be my 10th time I've been there. It's going to be an awesome time. We go to so many sites that are based on, again, archaeology, which is my background, as you know, loving going to those places and seeing some new things that have opened up. The Pilgrimage Road is going to be there. It's opened up all the way from the city of David up onto the Temple Mount area. Phenomenal. The exact places where Jesus walked. Again, it's amazing what's happening in the archaeological world there that is showing so much. I appreciate what God is doing because he's showing the connection of what's happening in Israel to the ancient people of Israel and his land and his purpose and all the purposes that he has, especially in Jerusalem, as we know. So check it out. Visit IsraelToday.com, and you can join us May of 2026. Well, Jonathan, welcome.
Great to be back.
And we are here to talk about various things. There's so many things that are going on. There's a brand new film that's coming out, which helps document some of the history, not only of October 7th, which is we're coming up on the anniversary right now as well, but also just the connection. There's archaeology in this film, which, again, I appreciate so much there of the connection between ancient Israel, modern Israel. But, before we do that, there's so many things happening right now. There's the stuff going on with Trump. We see, people even like Tucker and Candace Owens and their kind of discussions about Israel and being anti-Israel and questioning whether modern Israel is even ancient Israel. Just, it's not often I get a chance to ask you about that, but what's your thoughts on just the sense of what's happening right now?
Well, there's a gigantic wave of anti-Israel hatred in the world. I mean, the world has never been friendly to Israel. It's never been conducive to Jewish life or Jewish existence, and that's because of an ancient war that the Bible speaks of, and even goes to the dragon's prophecy in Revelation. But the thing is, it's exploding all over, and the thing is that it's never dead. Anti-Semitism is never, it's just sleeping for a little bit, but the enemy always rouses it up in every generation, and most generations don't realize how they're being used. And so the thing is, it's happening in America now. That's where it's a whole nother thing. America is the last nation, really, the most powerful nation that is for Israel. Without America, the world would be different. Israel would be in a different thing. So the thing is that if America turns away from Israel, we're in a whole nother ball game. And it is prophetic. We talked about Armageddon, but the thing is that America has not. But now, after October 7th, which is really prophetic, we've seen a hatred for Israel all over the world. When have you ever seen the whole world in every land, virtually every continent, every land, where you've seen outbreaks of hatred and demonstrations against one single nation, not against the Soviet Union, not against Nazi Germany. It wasn't all over the world, but little Israel. That makes no sense. That is not rational. It is not natural. It is supernatural. The enemy is behind it. But the thing is, it happened in America very, very strongly across the college campuses of America. And so now we just crossed a point. People don't really, just about, I don't know, it might have been like 2021, 22, around there, that the Democratic Party switched from being technically still pro-Israel to now anti-Israel. Where the majority are, now it's that majority are against Israel, are for the Palestinian state, not for Israel. Okay. But now the more dangerous thing is when it starts affecting the conservative movement or the right. Because in recent times, it's been the conservatives who've been more for Israel. And particularly because of Christians that have now become conservative. And so the thing is that if the enemy can weaken that support, then he can, see, what's keeping America for Israel is largely Christians and conservatives. If he can weaken that, then America can turn. And so it's really significant when you see this with people like Tucker Carlson, who never was like this before, but it's like he's just gone off. I've done a few videos answering this on my YouTube channel because I felt I had to answer it, and more than one. We just released the second one, where all these charges. And Candace Owens, I also did one answering her, because she's gone totally off the wall. She's gone into anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. I mean, that's how whacked out. Tucker Carlson's not there yet, but it goes and all these things. All of a sudden, you're seeing this unfortunately, in some parts of conservative circles, are the Jews aren't the real Jews. They're not Jews anymore. For 2,000 years, the enemy's been persecuting the Jews because they were Jews. Now he wants to persecute them for not being Jews. Well, that's crazy. If the Jews aren't the Jews, then who are the Jews? Where are they? And if the Jews are not the Jews, who are these people who are here? Millions of people. Obviously, they're the Jews, and even genetic studies, DNA traces them back to the Middle East. So that's crazy, but they are. But then there's replacement theology, which has been part of a lot of the church in many ways, but now it's erupting into this whole thing, saying, well, God is finished with Israel. We have, the Israel today has nothing to do with Israel back then. It's all false. But the Bible says it's going to happen. So it's amazing that we see this, and we have to be very strong. And I think that's one of also the reasons why the Dragon's Prophecy, not just the book, but the movie now, is so important, because it answers all those charges that many people are dealing with. Many Christians have friends who are subscribing to that, or people in their life. The Dragon's Prophecy is going to answer that very powerfully. It's not only historical and archaeological, it's prophetic. It's biblical, and it's prophetic, and it's the ultimate thing is prophetic where we are. So it's very powerful, and I think God's going to use it for that.
Yeah, I mean, what we're discussing here is this brand new film by Dinesh D'Souza, who obviously felt compelled to basically design the film around your work. And so maybe give us some background of how that film developed and how he contacted you and your participation in it.
Yeah, I didn't know Dinesh D'Souza. I knew of Dinesh D'Souza. And then one day he interviewed, they scheduled me to go on his show to be interviewed, his podcast. And I think it was one book before. I think it was the Josiah Manifesto. That was the first one. And then a year later, it was the Dragon's Prophecy. So I did it, and we had a great time, And then a few days later, I get a message from Dinesh D'Souza saying, call me. So I call him, and he says, I want to make my next movie, motion pictures, on the Dragon's Prophecy. And the thing is, he had wanted to make a movie about Israel, in Israel, proving Israel, as the promises and all those things, but he didn't have anything to hold it together. He didn't know, he didn't have a strong hold. And so when he interviewed me about the Dragon's Prophecy, he looked at his wife, Debbie, sweet lady, and said, that's it. This is it. It's got to be this. And so he asked me, could he make a movie of it? I said, yes. And that's how it began. That's how it began.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal when you see the movie. It's going to be hitting theaters as well as DVDs, and again, it's a must watch for every single Christian for sure who loves God and who again loves the Bible. I've been discussing some of these things lately, kind of challenging people on some anti-Semitism in different podcasts. It's like, look, the Bible is 5-6 about Israel. I mean, it just is. And so people need to be aware of that. On that note, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned genetic studies, because we see all that kind of garbage out there. And it's been proven, genetic studies, that the Jews that are in the land today are genetically connected. But, one of the questions that comes up in the film, which I think would be quite appropriate to answer. And you know what? I'm going to actually save that for a moment. We're going to take a little break here, and I want to talk about the purpose of Israel for a moment. But we're going to take a little break here to see how to get our magazine, which again, we cover all these topics. We cover biblical topics. We cover Israel, prophetic events. So take a listen.
The world is unraveling right in front of us. Wars, pandemics, economic collapse, artificial intelligence, global surveillance. Things are changing quickly, but you don't have to be caught off guard. At Prophecy Watchers, we believe that God has called us to be a voice in these last days, to warn you of things to come, to educate you on the study of Bible prophecy, and to boldly proclaim the soon return of Jesus. Today, we're inviting you to be a part of our mission through our monthly publication. The Prophecy Watcher isn't just a magazine, it's your trusted news source for the end times, the place tens of thousands of people rely on for their end time news. For your gift of just $50 or more, here's what we'd love to send you. 12 monthly issues of our 4-color magazine, The Prophecy Watcher, in your choice of print or digital. Plus 5 bonus DVDs packed with eye-opening teachings from prophecy experts, including The Mystery of the Rapture, The Great Apostasy and the Revealing of the Antichrist, Holy Fire in Jerusalem, new shocking discoveries surrounding the Shroud of Turin, The Stones Cry Out, The Archaeological Evidence for Jesus, The Mystery of the 10 Kings. Could these be the wealthy and influential oligarchs who control our world today? As an added bonus, we want to send you a one-of-a-kind prophetic treasure, a book that examines every prophecy in the entire Bible. Exploring Bible prophecy from Genesis to Revelation is the work of 2 prophecy legends, Tim LaHaye and Ed Hindson. It's a book you'll find on the shelf of every prophecy expert. This 560-page masterpiece is our bonus gift to you. Every page of the Prophecy Watcher magazine is loaded with answers to the questions you've been asking. The rise of the Antichrist system, the Nephilim of Genesis 6, and the real reason for Noah's flood. The shocking truth about UFOs and government cover-ups. Jewish plans for the Third Temple. The World Economic Forum. The 2030 Global Reset and digital currency, the coming wars of Ezekiel 38 and 39, the Dead Sea Scrolls and their secrets to ancient prophecies. This $120 value can be yours for your gift of $50 with shipping included in the USA. Call us at the number on your screen or visit us online at prophecywatchers.tv. For our international friends, please note that additional shipping fees do apply and all prices listed are in US dollars. The signs are everywhere. The prophetic puzzle is almost complete, and yet so many are still asleep. That's why the Prophecy Watchers exists, to shine a light in the darkness and help believers understand the lateness of the hour. We believe Jesus is coming soon, and your support helps us take this urgent message to the ends of the earth.
Well, welcome back. We are talking to Jonathan, and before the break, we were just discussing, again, the new film by Dinesh D'Souza based on the Dragon's Prophecy book, and one of the things that's brought up in the film, which I think is just very helpful, is what is the purpose of Israel altogether? I mean, what's the purpose of Israel?
Israel exists because of God, or it would not exist. It still exists today because of God. Israel exists, number one, to be a witness that God is real, that God lives. Every Jewish person who is alive is a witness, whether they know it or not, whether they're working for it or not, doesn't matter. Their existence is a witness to the existence that God exists. But also, Israel exists to fulfill the purposes of God in this world. They remember something. You know, if you're born again today, if you love God, you've been blessed, it happened through Israel. Israel brought into the world the knowledge of God, brought into the world the Word of God. The Bible came from Israel. The worship of God that you know came through the Psalms, came from the Bible. The prophets, and ultimately God himself, Messiah, the Jesus, they brought Israel into the world. I mean, Israel brought this into the world. And so if you're born again, you are linked to Israel. You are joined to Israel. And Israel will again bring God into the world. They'll bring Messiah back into the world. They'll bring the kingdom into the world. And that's why the devil hates them so much.
Yeah, that is so perfectly said. And, you know, for those that get, maybe they haven't seen the Dragon's Prophecy book that you did, it was about a year ago. And of course, as you mentioned, Dinesh is like, wow, I want to do something on that book. And but you know, he has this new movie that he's doing, which again is just getting ready to come out. But before we go, I don't want to see people miss out on the opportunity. Talk as well about your own the Dragon's Prophecy book, as well as the uncensored DVD, which we carried the DVD set here. Talk about that.
Yeah, the Dragon's Prophecy looks like this. This is the book, and this is what we're touching on. You know, now the movie is going to be amazing, but of course can't have everything that's in the book. There's so much more in the book that you can't. But the movie has it's showing you in a way that you can't see in the book. But the book has it, so it's great to have both. Number one, But on top of that, this is exclusive now. This is not, you cannot get, what I'm about to tell you is the Dragon's Prophecy uncensored. You cannot get that on Amazon. You cannot go to a bookstore. You cannot go to Walmart and get it. It is exclusive. Prophecy Watchers has it. And so the thing is this is very special. This is the uncensored version. So you're going to not only get what the mysteries of the Dragon's Prophecy, you're going to get mysteries that are not even in the book, that are, in fact, I'm putting more, there's more in this uncensored that I share about the end times than I've shared in any one thing. It is, and all the questions I get asked about the end times, the Antichrist, the rapture, the Ezekiel 38, the war, what's coming, when's it going to happen? That's in the Dragon's Prophecy uncensored. So you don't want to miss it. It's 8 one-hour DVDs, so you're not just going to read about it. You're going to see it unfold. You're going to see all of it. You can show it to your friends. You can show it to your family, your Bible study, your church, pastors. You'll love it anyway. So don't miss this. This is very exclusive, very special. It's the Dragon's Prophecy uncensored 8 DVD album, and it's exclusive. Along with the book and the movie, you're going to be very blessed.
You know, your participation in the film, how is this new film, again, that you partner with Dinesh on, how is it kind of revolutionary, even your background of you're able to be there and to answer these questions and to share the pattern of the Dragon's Prophecy? What was your thoughts throughout all this?
Yeah, my part was actually filmed where Beth Israel, the ministry I do, and we went through all these things, all these mysteries. And the thing is that then Dinesh went to Israel, and he went to all these places, and he also really unearthed like really stunning footage, where you're seeing what's happening even from the terrorists from the other side. You're actually seeing all these. You see how real this is. And then he went also to, yes, people like Mike Huckabee is in the Dragon's Prophecy, and he's speaking spiritually. Here's the ambassador, the American ambassador. He's speaking about the war basically in Revelation. I mean, it's amazing. And you have people like Eric Stackelbach, who's an expert on, all the news on Israel and all that. You have Eric Metaxas, who's also an excellent one. But then you have Benjamin Netanyahu became part of the film. So we got Benjamin Netanyahu is in there. And as I said, he's talking about, where they are, and he's sharing some things that he hasn't shared elsewhere. Some of what he shared there made news. Actually, what he shared in the film made news. But also he speaks about Yeshua. He calls Jesus Yeshua. He's saying he's Jewish. He's talking about the prime minister of Israel is talking about the Jewishness of Jesus, that he's Yeshua, and that Mary is really Miriam, and that Joseph is Yosef. I mean, and he's sharing that it's all Jewish. It's amazing that he's part of it too. So it takes you on this journey, and prophetic journey, and also archaeological journey, where you're seeing the city of David and all the discoveries of how Israel is Israel. It is the same. They can't argue with it. And then we get to the end. I probably get to Ezekiel 38 and 39 and what that had to do with actually October 7th was part of that. I mean, part of aligning with it and foreshadowing it. So really that end time prophecy, and then what are we to do about it? So it's extremely powerful from the very beginning. It is powerful. And it's something that I think is so important, that's going to go out there, but especially what we're all dealing with in the world and all the hatred for Israel and all the falsehoods and the lies and all that. This is going to be a powerful thing, not just for you to see, but to show to people in your life, or to bring them to see it, but show people in your life. It's going to be very powerful. It'll answer every question. So I'm very happy with how it came out. It's extremely, extremely powerful.
Yeah, it is so well done, and just from beginning to end, his own discovery, and again, he's very fair. He doesn't worship the government of Israel, Dinesh. He's being honest that no government is perfect, and and so that there isn't this blind loyalty, but he's going out there looking at the facts and the evidence, and again, as you mentioned, the archaeology. I thought that interview as well with Netanyahu was very powerful to hear him say, not Yeshu, but as is typical, but Yeshua. I was like, wow, this is quite amazing. You brought up Ezekiel 38, and you bring this certainly up more in your book, The Dragon's Prophecy, again, in connection with, maybe unpack that a little bit for the listeners who might not know the connection.
Yeah, the prophecy of Ezekiel, and he in Ezekiel 38 and 39, he speaks of an invasion to come, mass invasion, and this invasion is key to biblical prophecy. And people have ideas. It's not the same as Armageddon, but it may very well be the very powerful trigger for much of what you see in end times and Revelation. But it actually, we crossed a prophetic red line and we didn't even realize it. Because in October 7th, behind October 7th, taking part in that invasion by funding it or by getting weapons in, was Sudan or Kush. Also funding it or being part of it or taking was Put or Libya, which is exactly in Ezekiel. Also providing all the funding was Turkey, Togarmah, and others there. Also clearly involved was Iran. Iran was behind Hamas, and behind so every nation that we can absolutely identify where there's no question about it, there's no controversy about those, was involved. That Ezekiel says they're going to be involved in an invasion of Israel. We're actually involved in an invasion of Israel for the first time in human history on October 7th. So this is a foreshadow of what's going to come. It's not Ezekiel 30. It's not the fulfillment yet, but it is in line foreshadowing the fulfillment. But we crossed the prophetic red line. That makes sense when you look at the Bible, because behind Iran is the Sarparas, a spirit that exists to war against or destroy Israel. It's an ancient spirit. So when you look at all this, behind Hezbollah is what? Iran. Behind the Houthis, Iran. Behind October 7th was Hamas. Behind Hamas is Iran. Behind Iran is the Sarparas. So it's amazing. We're watching the spiritual realm break into the physical realm. There's a war. And so while you have the Sarparas war sending those missiles in, you've got the Sar Yisrael, Michael, casting them all down. Amazing. And so behind Israel, behind the defense of Israel is the Israeli Defense Force. Behind the Israeli Defense Force is the Sar Yisrael, Michael. And behind Michael is Messiah, who is God. So you've got this total spiritual war going on that we're witnessing in real time.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I encourage people to go read Daniel chapter 10, and they can get introduced to all these characters. It's amazing what we're able to watch today. It's happening right in front of us. Well, we're going to take a little break here where you can see how to get, again, Jonathan's book as well as the new movie. So take a listen.
October 7th is a day that will live in infamy. It was early morning when the news broke at our prophecy conference in Norman, Oklahoma. Tragedy had struck in Israel as drug-fueled Hamas terrorists stormed across the Israeli border, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent men, women, and children in brutal, inhumane ways, and taking hostages that 2 years later may never return alive. Best-selling author Jonathan Cahn was quickly catapulted onto the worldwide stage, releasing an amazing book that was inspired by the October 7th attack. The dragon's prophecy took us back to biblical times, the time when Israel's ancient enemy, the Philistines, roamed the land. The place where Samson was blinded and died in a Philistine temple. Jonathan's book exposes the dark shadows of history, exploring the cursed history of the land and people of Gaza. Inspired by Jonathan's work, Dinesh D'Souza began planning a documentary on October 7th, a 90-minute film that will leave you in stunned silence as you witness video footage you've never seen before. Taking the viewers to Ground Zero, the Gaza crossing, Dinesh shares the terror of the initial attack. He interviews the emotional victims, people who shared their miraculous survival accounts as their friends and family were killed. D'Souza offers the Palestinian perspective on October 7th, sharing interviews with indoctrinated schoolchildren, terrorists, and the spouses of the hostages who were never returned home. The documentary is gripping as you'll see what really happened that day. Interviews with Prime Minister Netanyahu, Mike Huckabee, and other Israeli experts Take us back in Israel's history to prove who owns the land. It's the definitive answer to the ongoing debate, claiming that the Jews in Israel today are not the people God brought back to the land in 1948. The Dragon's Prophecy documentary is available today for your gift of $30 or more, with shipping included anywhere in the USA. It also comes with a free bonus, a live conference presentation from Jonathan Cahn on the tragedy of October 7th. Call our toll-free number 24/7 or visit us online at prophecywatchers.tv. For our international friends, please note that additional shipping fees do apply and all prices listed are in US dollars. Jonathan's original book and DVD set, The Dragon's Prophecy, is the source for the D'Souza documentary. We've packaged up all of Jonathan's research in our October 7th prophecy package. The package includes Jonathan's Dragon's Prophecy book, the 8 DVD companion set, offered exclusively through Prophecy Watchers, Dinesh D'Souza's Dragon's Prophecy documentary, and Jonathan's live conference DVD on the October 7th tragedy. This is a presentation you won't want to miss, delivered with passion and human emotion. The entire package can be yours for your gift of $85 or more, a savings of over $50. There are no bigger fans of Israel than Prophecy Watchers. In spite of this tragedy, we know God has a plan for the Jewish people. Join us in praying for the peace of Jerusalem, and may God open their eyes and help them recognize their long-awaited Jewish Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth.
Well, welcome back. And Jonathan, we've been talking again about a lot of things today, and there's so much going on, and of course there's so much that you're writing about, and I don't want to leave here without you again just giving us at least a short synopsis of your latest research that you've been doing on the Avatar.
Yeah, the Avatar has got to be, just came out. It's got to be the most explode. It looks like this. It's not the movie. It looks like this. It says The Return of the Ancients and the Future of America. This has got to be the most explosive book I've ever written. This removes the veil behind everything from, I mean, what we're witnessing in America, what's happening in the world, what's happening in our political realm, behind the whole thing is a whole nother dimension of entities, of spirits, of mysteries, of templates from the Bible that are coming true. It's powerful, it's explosive, and we also have the uncensored version, which is the 8 one-hour DVDs, which has the uncensored version. It's not available anywhere, pretty much. You're going to get it right here exclusively, so get them both. You'll be glad you did. Now, I just want to say, listen, if you are listening right now and you're not sure that you're saved, you're born again, you need to be. When you see all these things happening, don't be scared, but because it's saying that God's in control, but you got to be right with God. If you're not right with God, if you're not born again, you're not saved. But if you'll receive him into your life, it can start with a simple prayer right where you are. Come into my life, forgive me. I'm going to follow you from this moment on. I take you as my Lord and my Savior. You can follow God and you can know that you're saved. When you're saved, you're going to be okay. No more fear about the future. You're going to be saved forever. And it's going to be the best thing you ever did. Just call on the name of the Lord and follow him as his disciple, and you will be saved.
Amen, Jonathan. I appreciate your time as always, and thank you everybody else for watching. That's the goal, to help people get saved, and that's why we're here. So thank you for your prayers and support as always. We'll catch you next time.
Prophecy Watchers is a viewer-supported ministry made possible through the faithful support of friends like you. If you've been blessed by our ministry and feel led to stand with us, we would truly be grateful for your financial support. You can give easily by visiting prophecywatchers.com.